Hey everyone, it's Mian, and in this chapter we will learn about wireframes techniques. Finally, we get to the step of creating our own interface, which is usually the most engaging step in the design process. Low fidelity or wireframes means that we will not care about colors, fonts, icons, spacing or images. We're gonna do only the skeleton of the interface. We will arrange content to particular components, forming each screen of the interface. With wireframes, a client and the users will be able to go through the product, see exactly how an app will be composed and how users can reach their goals. On the wireframes, we can also test our interface on the real users for the first time, and also we can get the first feedback from clients just to make sure that we are on the right way. Where I have a problem with low fidelity prototypes is that the users often don't understand them. In our course, we will not use wireframes for testing, but only for discussing screens with clients to make sure that we are on the same wave. Important aspect is that you should rely on explaining that wireframes are showing just the structure of the screens, they are not showing the final look of the platform. There are two basic approaches for creating wireframes. First group of designers use only online tools such as Figma, Miro, Lucidchart, Adobe XD and so on. Second group of designers build wireframes in two stages, the paper stage and digital stage. It's good to say that both approaches are absolutely okay. Also, in some special cases you can use just sketching, of course. Every time it's based on the needs of the project and the requirements of the client as well. I would stay with sketching for a moment. There are again two basic ways to deal with sketching. First way is to use just paper and black marker or pencil. Designers who are using paper prefer it because you can actually faster take ideas down on the paper and boost creativity just like you do, for example, with brainstorming technique. On the other hand, it requires much more time to invest in the process because you often have to make digital wireframes for effective presentations to users and clients as well. Anyway, I have just one more tip according to paper sketching. Definitely check out sketches.com where you can find cool printable templates of devices which you can use as a template for sketching. It will save a lot of time, so you can invest it in the proper screen structure, not sketching the devices for every screen separately. You can find there free templates for smartphones, tablets, desktop browsers or simple sketchpad. The second way is to sketch digitally. This process is not so effective on the desktop, to be honest, so designers use a tablet with a pen. I personally use iPad Air 2020 with Apple Pen 2nd generation. Don't worry, it's absolutely not necessary for completing this course and also for creating the designs. This combination is an additional improvement of the own process, but it definitely depends on personal preferences of every designer. When using this combination of devices, I use a software called Miro, which is free for up to 3 projects and offers a lot of great functionalities and predefined components. On my Instagram you can find some quick videos on how I use Miro for simple wireframes, but in the case of our course we will again use Figma for creating wireframes, which is the digital way to create wireframes in comparison with sketching. Before we will start creating a wireframe overview page of the Laplace platform, we will take a look at some best practices and rules for effective wireframing. The first rule is to keep the wireframes only in the shades of gray. I don't use colors in wireframes as it might be a little bit distracting and it might confuse a client and users as they might think that you will use exactly those colors in the final high fidelity screens, so that's why I use only shades of gray. Then during wireframing you should try to use the real content. I know that in some cases it's not possible to use final content, but you should try to avoid using lorem ipsum text as little as possible. Also, if you are adding some component or feature to your wireframe, you should have a clear idea of what it will be included there. I mean, for example, if you add a rectangle representing a card with some content, you should know what content will be inside the card and not add the card just because there is a space on the screen. As the wireframes aren't usually that clear for users and clients, you should provide some brief notes and annotations for particular features and its functionalities. On the other hand, keep the wireframes simple and don't overload them with too many text. Also, you are creating the first concept of screens, so definitely you don't have to rely on details like if the circle within the wireframes is a real circle or if it's a little bit irregular. We have talked about the details of wireframes and how specific we should be. To be honest, I have a little bit simplified because you can differentiate various types of wireframes based on their fidelity. In the following table you can see 3 basic types of wireframes. I personally use almost only medium fidelity wireframes and sometimes low fidelity wireframes. High fidelity wireframes are not really effective in my point of view, as they are requiring lots of time, almost like a high fidelity prototyping, showing all details of the interface. Okay, that's all for this chapter. I'm looking forward to working with you on a wireframe of the Laplace overview screen in the next chapter. Don't forget to complete the quiz and see you soon.